So hi, assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Wan Nurin Nadira binti Watu Rizak and my metric number is H19800902. So for the introduction, the chapter introduction will discuss the purpose of the impact of tourism and wildlife in Borneo. So for the background of the study, the Borneo is estimated to be home to around 232 mammals, meaning they are not found anywhere else in the world. There are also 2,000 of plants, leeches and fungi which form the base of a food chain that nurture a wide array of species. So for the problem of the statement, this topic will more talk about the animals at the Borneo more decrease day by day. So for the research objectives, we have three. First one is we identify the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. Second, we analysis about the importance to take care of wildlife in Borneo. And third, to study about population, sample sampling, procedure, analysis instrument, and data. So for the research question, we have two. The first one is what was the problem in Borneo and impact of poses a grave threat to Borneo and Sumatra endangered species like tigers and rhinos. And the second one is why is Borneo losing his animal and impact of tourism in Borneo. So for the scope of the study of the research is more to know about the impact of tourism in Borneo. The Borneo is a giant rugged island in Southeast Asia Malay archipelago. It's shared by the Malaysian state of Sabah and Sarawak, Indonesian Kalimantan, and the tiny nation of Brunei. So for the significance of study, based on this study, we know that Borneo is generally a safe destination with relative low crime rates. To exercise the user not walking alone at night, not leaving valuables such as camera, smartphone on display, and using registered taxis. So for the definition of term, we have three. The first one is the number of tourists visit Borneo every year. So the Southeast Asian island of Borneo has emerged as a popular tourist destination, particularly in the expanding ecotourism sector. The second is injection of tourists when they go to Borneo. Vaccine for Borneo will protect us from some of the infection diseases that are present on the island, such as measles, typhoid, and hepatitis E. And the third, the visa to enter Borneo. To enter Borneo, the tourist must possess a valid passport or travel document valid for at least 6 months and fulfill visa requirement. On arrival, when tourists will be given a new social pass even if the tourist already received one in Peninsular Malaysia. So for the summary, despite having opened greatly to visitors in the past few decades, Borneo remains a road less traveled where new species continue to be discovered each month. The Malaysian state of Sabah and Sarawak are now well equipped for visitors, boasting wildlife sanctuaries, world-class dive resorts, and mountain treks. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rajun Sabrina binti Raja Zulkifli and my metric number is H19A045. So today I would like to talk about literature review, and the topic that we choose is the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. Okay, first, the importance of wildlife. Number 1, wildlife maintains balance in ecosystem. Number 2, wildlife provide nutrients to humans. And the important number 3, wildlife provide nutrients to humans. And number 4, for the economy. And the number 5 is good for mental health. Okay, so next I will go to endangered wildlife in Borneo. There is 3 animals that we chose for our research, for the example our research. So the first wildlife is an endangered is orangutan, mouse deer, and black shrew. Black shrew, in another name we call it as black rat. Okay, so next I will tell you about wildlife sanctuaries in Borneo. There are so many sanctuaries park or center in Borneo, which is in Sabah or Sarawak or Kalimantan, Indonesia. And we just only choose for sanctuaries center. The first one is Bako National Park in Sarawak, and the number 2 is Lubuk Bay Proboscis Monkey Sanctuary in Sabah, and the number 3 is Bornean Sambe Conservation Center in Sabah, and the last one is Sepilok Orangutan Rehabilitation Center in Sabah also. Okay, the last one is hypothesis. We are provide 3 hypotheses in this research. So the first hypothesis is HO. There is no significant relationship between the importance of wildlife and the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. H1. There is a significant relationship between the importance of wildlife and the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. And the second hypothesis is HO. There is no significant relationship between the Wildlife Sanctuary Center and the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. And H1 for second hypothesis is there is a significant relationship between the Wildlife Sanctuary Center and the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. And the third hypothesis is HO. There is a significant relationship between the endangered wildlife in Borneo and between the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. And the last one, H1 for third hypothesis, is there is a significant relationship between the wildlife sanctuary center and the impact of tourism on wildlife in Borneo. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatina Izzati binti Supi. My metric number is H19E0125. I would like to present for chapter 3, which is Introduction to Research Methodology, Research Design, Population and Sample. This chapter will mention every component involved in conducting this research, from population frame and sampling techniques used for the interview. The instrument that was used for data collection is also described, and the procedures that were followed to carry out this study are included. Finally, this chapter provides the detailed explanation of the selected mode of analysis used and data collection method. For the research design, qualitative research method was developed in the social and science to enable researchers to study social and cultural phenomena, observe feelings, thought, behaviors, and the belief of the mass society. In this study, the researcher used qualitative research method. This is because the data source include observation and participation observation, interviews and questionnaires, document and text, and the researcher's impressions and reactions. Population is a number of individuals of a particular species in an area. Animal and plants population depend on many things for survival. Therefore, for the study, population consists of the wildlife in Borneo. The wildlife tourism has a great significance to developing countries. It is growing up every year at a faster pace. The tourists and travelers from foreign countries arrive in Borneo in large numbers. At present, 700,000. The samples of the study were selected using the purposive sampling technique. For the study, the population from which the samples were derived consists of the following groups of tourists. As wildlife tourism becomes increasingly popular, it's important to ensure it happens in a sustainable manner. This growing interest in wildlife tourism and the economic benefits that come along with it can change community attitude towards conservation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurasha Rahim and my matrix number is H198380. And for this presentation, for this subject, I would like to present about a sampling method. Sampling method is a way for researchers to get information through sampling for their research. And they have two types of sampling. One is profitability and the second one is non-profitability, and they have like three under these two. For profitability, they have cluster sampling, they have stratified sampling, and for non-profitability, they have snowball sampling and a lot more. Next is data analysis. Data analysis is a process of cleaning, transforming, and also modeling data to find the best tool that we can use for our research. So there are a lot of tools and a lot of types of data analysis, and we also use SPSS for the tool of our research. Move on to the next topic. Is about research instrument. And research instrument could be a tool that want to collect, analyze, and also measure the data that we want. And there is three types of research instrument. First, interview. Second is survey, and also the last one is observation. And our group chose to use observation as our research instrument, as we have the problem to do the questionnaire and everything, so we decided to use observation.
Descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics are accustomed to describing the fundamental feature of information and as essentially study. They are provide a summary of a state and its size, together with the easy graphical analysis that form the idea of just about every quantitative data analysis. Reliability test. The term reliability in physiological research refers to the consistency of the study or measurement test. Reliability analysis was one to measure the reliability of the questionnaire. Reliability refers to how we measure something consistently. Person correlation. Correlation research may be a style of non-experimental research which researchers test to variable and examine the statistical relation or correlation between them with a little by little the trouble to alter variable 1. There are two reasons why researchers are curious about the correlation between variables to do correlation instead of experimental analysis. Summary. According to the study has been conducted, the researcher is clear about the study population and sampling production, analysis instrument and data. Studies can also be used as a method of using function. The other part, this chapter also explains the questionnaire performance, and the questionnaire can be used into the reservoirs. That's all for me. Thank you.